Hello, everyone. Welcome to LOCKBEARD PHENOMENA number 13, Psychedelic Bigfoot, ? This has been talked about a lot recently, and it might be something, it might be information of interest. Let's see who we got in chat. Well, first, can you guys hear me? We had sound problems last time, and I haven't gotten around to getting a better microphone. Got Mr. Lee here. Got Pat here. I don't think it's going to be that big a thing. But I've been watching you guys talk about it recently, and it could be very significant, or maybe not so much. But I mean, it has some meaning. There must be a reason for it. Judy says y'all hear me, so that's good. So whatever we had last, maybe there was something wet that I wasn't aware of. I don't know. I am semi-exposed to the weather half the time. I don't take it as far as our cousins the Bigfoot, but Icon says, "Oh look, you haven't been ate up by Bigfoot." Et being the correct pronunciation of eat in some areas of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and a few other places. Got to say it, et. Figured you've been at your new job. Hope it's been well. We'll tune in at some point. Have to take the dog out at 6. Yeah, Icon. I've been very, 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 very busy. There is so much crap I got to do just to get to the point where I can perform my normal job functions. Because we got to go into places. There's safety issues. There's training issues. All kinds of EPA crap I got to review and get certified and tested for all this stuff. There's security concerns, like I have to get like a TWIC card if you go in anywhere that's related to the border at all, or ports and stuff like that. They have to check me out even closer, and just all this stuff I gotta handle. I haven't really had a chance to find a place to stay, which technically I feel like this is my place, but I got a good, pretty good location to park a lot of the time. The weekends I've been back here on the farm, but still having these issues with the Wi-Fi is never any good anywhere. So hopefully eventually I figure out what to do about that. I'm going to have to rent a place. I mean, there's just almost, or buy. I'd rather buy. I don't want to rent. Sounds like it's just a tedious thought to me. Cheese Freaks here. Judy, have y'all seen the drone footage from someone on TikTok? No, I haven't. Uncle Bones is here. He says the madman Kerry Madsen is fast again tonight. Won last night. World of Outlaws. I don't. I'm sure a lot of you already know that I don't follow sports of any kind, so I have no idea what you're talking about. Could be cricket for all I know. Yeah, racing maybe. I don't know. Cage fighting, football. I have no idea. Judy says, yes, I've seen that crazy stuff. Or Uncle Bone says that to Judy. Incredible to watch, she says. I don't believe a machine could whip it around like that without breaking. Okay, I'm starting to feel Horse racing. They now use robotic horses, so it's got to be it. It's got to be it. Okay, I know it's cars. I get it now. Sandra Piper says hello to everybody. All the highs getting in. Hellos and whatnots. Judy confirming we can hear. Uncle Bones as well. Awesome. Hello, Jen. Welcome. See what else we got. Bigfoot and on. Bigfoot and on. I was just looking at your mug over on. I was trying to catch up on some Squatching Cowboy over there. And on the Squatch out, y'all sitting around a fire, playing music, doing what humans have been doing for hundreds of thousands of years. Sitting around a fire, telling stories, singing, you know, doing what we are evolved to do. And if you don't believe in evolution, it's in our breeding. We sat around a fire for ages and ages. The best survivors were the ones that conquered fire. And I think that it had very little to do with it. A lot of people try to say they try to assign too much importance to cooking. And as I've tried to tell people many times in the past, that it's not really about cooking. Cooking was just something that kind of happened. Somebody didn't say, you know what? We've been eating raw meat for all of our history, but we should go get some of that fire that the lightning started and put our meat on it. That would be a completely unnatural thought to humans. Now, later on, it became necessary because once the Younger Dryas impact occurred, about 13,000 years ago, killed 160 species of megafauna, all our mastodons and our giant rhinos and sloths and all these animals that we ate, fatty red meat, completely raw and half rotten most of the time, were gone. So we're forced to eat crap like pigs and chickens, which, as you know, we kind of need to cook. We need to cook them because we're not evolved to eat those kind of animals. We can get by on it, but yeah, you guys sitting around fire, that was awesome, singing and telling stories and people actually interacting. Something that I am not good about getting involved in as much as I should. I know, but good stuff. Everyone should go over to Squatching Cowboys channel and check that stuff out. You know, they're telling Squatch stories and everything else, and they were talking to some kids and stuff. So the younger generation coming into it, it's awesome. So everybody go check out the Squatching Cowboys channel if you haven't already. Share it, subscribe, do all that shit. Let's see here. What else we got going on? Is everybody saying hello? Squash Talk says, I will be addressing the drone shaking tree hoax very soon. So we got another hoax, do we? Awesome. I'm glad I got some other people out there handling it because there's too much of it going on. Like, you know, we need a whole freaking nation of squatchers to sort out this nonsense going out there where they're trying to take advantage of people and make money off of people for nothing, for crap, for pareidolia, for hoaxes. We're at war here. You know, people say, oh, they want us to just play nice. Oh, just play nice. Don't say anything. No, that's how you let this shit run rampant. We got to take it down. Every time we see a hoax, it needs to be taken the hell down. And everyone that's trying to do this shit needs to see this happening and understand that it will not be tolerated. We will not turn a blind eye just because we're afraid we're going to scare some people from telling their stories. Okay? We got plenty of stories. What we need is evidence and less hoaxing if we're going to get anywhere. Or as some people say, using that sports metaphor, move the ball down the field, which doesn't mean a whole lot to a non-sports person to me. But I understand what the more metaphor means. So So good. I'm glad Pat's addressing it, because I haven't seen it, so I don't know what's up. If Pat thinks it's a hoax, I'm going to give it a very high likelihood that it is. It's just a troll. Brandy's here. Welcome. Queen of the chat's here. She says good evening, everybody. Nobody mess with Brandy now. Hyveless is here. Welcome. I skipped some there, so I might have skipped him. To find out, it's amazing. You need it. So don't know really what to make of this glowing pink stuff. Flying squirrels is one of the few rodents I've never kept for a pet. I don't know why. I mean, I've had so many different animals as pets, things that, most people would never think of as a pet to start with, or I think my family, we had one at some point somehow. I don't really recall when I was young. The most interaction I think I've had with flying squirrels was this girl that lived in the dorm that I was an associate manager. There's a slight difference between the two in the dorm management stuff. But anyway, I was an associate manager in that building. And it was an awesome building. It was old. A lot of stories of haunting. It was a building called Wilson Hall, and this place used to be an old seminary, and the woman who ran it was named Florence Wilson. So they called the ghost Flo, and a lot of people thought they heard her. And when the building was an old building, no AC, but by far it was my favorite dorm to live in and work in throughout my entire 11 years at the university. And but there was a girl down the hall. She had some flying squirrels. Wasn't supposed to have them, but it was one of those things that was harmless. She didn't have a roommate, so I wasn't one of those dorm staff that walked around with a clipboard being all Nazi about stuff. This shit truly did not matter. Let it slide, So, yeah, that was the most interaction I had with flying squirrels. Unbelievably, fantastically beautiful woman who didn't, I think, know just how beautiful she was. But was always alone. It was strange. But she had her flying squirrels. They're neat little animals. And I never had the inkling to walk in there and shine a black light on them, though. So sometimes you just gotta try shit, like they were saying on a Pat show. High Check was saying. Let's see what else we got going on in chat here. Coffee Brandy says, "Yeah, I've been trying. Hey, I broke myself of the damn energy drinks because it was messing me up. It messes up your gut and a lot of other things, and so definitely got improvements from that. But I still have an addiction to caffeine, of course, like we all do. So I wake up. I've been trying to wake up at 5 to get things going in the morning and try to keep it at 5. But this morning, I slept too long. I slept right through the alarm because I was tired from the week. And it was like 7-ish, I think, when I woke up. So I've been taking caffeine pill, those 200 milligram caffeine pills. in the morning. I've been getting by on that lately. Just one of those in the morning. Well, I was 2 hours late taking it this morning, and I woke up with a headache. And it doesn't seem like it gives me energy, really. It seems like I'm only taking in caffeine to not get a headache. So I don't know if I should try to break myself entirely of caffeine. I've been thinking about go using pre-workouts at the gym again, and they never ever. I think there might be a few on the market that don't have caffeine in it, but they always include caffeine. It's like one of the most basic pre-workout substances in a pre-workout drink for the gym. So need a little kick in the pants, after work. You're tired. It's been a long day, and you're still trying to get in a workout, and it's just, So I don't know. I don't know if I should be trying to completely kick caffeine. I mean, one of those pills is like maybe a cup of coffee for a lot of people, 200 milligrams. It's not that much. It's definitely less than I was taking in a few weeks ago. Maybe half. So I've cut it in half. But, yeah. Randy says we had a squirrel named Buddy, a chipmunk named Baby, a wild bunny named Thumper. The chipmunk and the squirrel were awesome. Yeah, chipmunks are cool. We have them in some of these areas around here. The flying squirrels should be around here. I haven't noticed any at the farm here, but they should be here. We're not real close to the edge of their range. They pretty much run the entire the southern southern flying squirrel, which is Glaucomys volans, and there's three species in America, but that kind ranges the entire eastern half of the United States and up into Canada, and I think some of them go into Mexico as well. They're very neat, there were some mentioned that they don't actually glide. I don't mean to be contentious, but they are actually gliding. I mean, they're not just parachuting down. They do jump, but they can make a 180-degree turn. It's very controlled. And if they catch like an updraft, they can extend their gliding flight. They are gliding now, but gliding is, like he was saying, slowing down, of course, but slowing down your descent. But it also, you are guiding yourself and changing direction and aiming at a target. It's not like you're just there. It's not like they're just parachuting down with no directional ability whatsoever. So they are gliding. Mr. Lee bringing up the all caps LOCKBEARD. What's up, Mr. Lee? Let's get down here. Brady says, good job. Used to drink Monsters too. Also, his energy, vitamin waters, lost like 15 pounds not drinking them. Were you drinking the sugar ones? I was drinking the sugar-free ones, but I gotta watch out with sugar, man. So does anybody have any thoughts that maybe haven't been presented? Yeah, they do. Why they would glow? Why would they have that pink glow? Or as Highcheck was saying, he was saying just a reflection. Either way, are these animals? Do these animals have this property to their fur because they actually see in those ranges? Which I do believe it has been shown that a lot of these animals do see those those frequencies of light. But is it possible that Bigfoot is seeing in these frequency ranges? Or, it's entirely possible that Bigfoot exhibits that trait not because they see it, but because other animals see it. Like when Highcheck was describing on Pat's show, where a bunch of them landed on him. I never heard anyone say that before, but I'm taking from that the suggestion that maybe a lot of animals in the woods know that they can get a cleaning service from flying squirrels in that way. Maybe Bigfoot's one of them. They know, and this property of the fur attracts them. Perhaps they see the Bigfoot very easily. That's a possibility. I mean, it's completely unfantastic idea because, as he was describing, there's a lot of animals that have other animals that clean them of parasites. So that's just not an abnormal thing in the animal kingdom. It's a symbiotic relationship. It exists all over. And it's entirely possible, I think, that humans once had a more symbiotic relationship with a lot of animals that we no longer do. We've kind of taken ourselves out of the natural order. We've taken ourselves out of nature. We've destroyed the habitat of so many creatures out there. What if 100,000 years ago humans would have walked into the same glade as a Bigfoot to allow a flying squirrel to pick a few ticks off of them? Now, humans have the ability to do that themselves, but wouldn't it be so much easier to let something else do it for you? Because they were getting ticks. Everything gets ticks out in the woods. It's just part of the deal. Have you been drinking, Mr. Lee? Mr. Lee must be over smoking. Maybe. And glutton in the last few days. How did you know? Been drinking hard, have you? Falling with style. Yeah, it's falling with style. You want to see something kind of funny? Animal that does just drop. Wood ducklings. The wood duck goes way up in a tree and finds a hole and makes its nest in a cavity way up high in a tree. And then the little ducklings hatch out, and they're able to somehow they're just able with just their little feet to scramble up to the opening, and then they jump out and they just fall. And they just they're nice and fluffy and they're not very heavy, so they just kind of bounce off the ground. They're real awesome. I'd like to build some nesting boxes for them to try to, have them where they're hopefully nesting where you can see them from your porch or something, so you can catch this happening. It's something that's going to be kind of hard for a human to personally observe if you don't kind of set it up that way. If you're sitting on your porch a lot and you're watching that nest and you see the ducks going in and out, and you kind of know, just keep watch. You're probably still going to miss it because most of the time you're not sitting on your porch. You're at work or you're in the house sleeping. Or hello, Michael, welcome. Yeah, well, it's just. Plus, the artificial sweeteners have their own problems. That's the issue with the gut. Messes up your gut biome, and of course that affects everything else. I've talked about the tooth infections I was getting as a result of drinking too much stuff with sucralose as an artificial sweetener. Let's see here. Catch up in chat here. Deep in the swamp, he says. Swamp. So what do you guys think about this glowing hair thing? Does it mean that Bigfoot is tripping balls all the time? They're straight up psychedelic animals. Yeah, it's not good for you at all. Really should avoid it. Danny's here. Welcome. Saying greetings from South Carolina. Sugar. Stubble of knowledge. Yeah, let it going out on the weekend, man. I don't like shaving at all. It's unnatural. If I'm going to have a smooth face like a woman, do I need to go ahead and install some tits while I'm at it? It's bound to have some purpose, I'm sure. It's going to be some consequence. You know, maybe the idea that they actually see in those frequencies is true. You know, maybe if they saw just like we saw, that maybe they would, even though they are certainly going to be able to pick each other out easier than a human can in the woods hiding, perhaps they stand out like a sore thumb to each other because they see these other frequencies and they just stick out, whereas we can't see these other frequencies, these ultraviolet frequencies, and so maybe that's what it's about, or maybe it's about other things being able to see them. I mean, it could be just completely random chance, but you know, it's just so often we think something's just a random trait, but then eventually we figure out, okay, there is an actual function to this. So I'm going to side with the idea, the hypothesis that that there is a purpose for them having this trait. I think they definitely eat shrooms. I think that there's some possibility that it's connected to the same reason that we do. I know a lot of people have, because, you know, in this society, what we've been taught about that kind of thing, the people that aren't in the crowds that use drugs, you know, like I had it in my mind that this was a very bad drug. Like this was something very bad. But the more you learn about this stuff and the more about what you see, how it functions with the human mind, like it's getting more and more certain in my mind that humans are specifically evolved to use psychedelic mushrooms, not just edibles, but psychedelic mushrooms in particular. When you use an appropriate dose, they call it microdose. I'm not sure how much I like that term, but it's not a tripping dose, it's a smaller dose, but it increases mental function. There's programmers using this. Joe Rogan's talked about the MMA guys using it. It improves mental function. So the guy that presented this hypothesis, I don't know if he was the originator of it, but he was certainly pushing it. And McKenna was suggesting that maybe it had why it started is the big question, but there's some substances in many things that we also have in our system. DMT, the different forms of DMT and stuff like that. I don't know how much we want to go down this rabbit hole tonight, but anyway, it works. It works with our mind. You can't really poison yourself with it. And if you take a high dose, you have what they call a trip, which a lot of people take to mean that you're just hallucinating, right? I don't think that's what's going on. I think that's what's going on is that you are perceiving beyond what you're normally meant to perceive in this reality, and you are not able to fully understand what you're seeing. So it seems like you're just hallucinating. And there may be some people that in some cases that they are just hallucinating, but it's people are definitely perceiving more than what they're normally perceiving. So the idea is that for many, many thousands of years, ancient shamans would administer small doses of these types of mushrooms to human hunters or warriors to improve their performance, make them better on the battlefield, better, smarter hunters. And that we use these kind of things for such a long period of time that we've inadvertently, we didn't know we were doing it at the time. Probably there's a possibility that we didn't know what we were doing, but we've become bred to function using these things to perform certain tasks. Either the smaller doses to improve your intellect for a period of time to achieve a task, or the larger doses to have a type of spiritual experience to achieve greater enlightenment, or have a spiritual encounter of some kind, to communicate with some kind of entity. So it's bred into us. Like, it has really no horrible side effects that can affect us. It seems like it's something we're made to use. And if Sasquatch are, as I have said before, if they are just another race of humans, then they would have this bred into them too. And probably partake of psilocybin mushrooms whenever they find them, having the same effects as they do on us. Now, I've never tried using them. I've just been reading about them for decades now. I don't need the legal ramifications, but hopefully, as we go forward, there is a fight going on to achieve legalization of these substances, so that people can explore the universe in a way that they haven't been allowed to until this point. So hopefully they achieve that and it becomes legalized, hopefully faster than weed. I'm not a proponent of weed. I know a lot of people try to claim it has benefits psychologically. I know that there's treatment for disease and pain and stuff like that, but I'm not going to jump on the weed bandwagon at this point. Back pain too. haven't got a chance to check out the link. Pat says there's something weird going on with their eyes. Got to be for something. Yeah. I mean, seeming to be able to see the cameras and stuff, or know that the cameras are there. Barry says, what I missed, is this what you talked about on Squatch Talk, Pat? I missed last night's. Yeah, they had High Check on and Mike, Tactical Bigfoot Research, and they were talking more about this UV pink fluorescing, or High Check was saying it seems to be just reflecting pink, but whatever's the case. Same stuff that Jeff was talking about on Moog's the other night too. Yeah, Jen says if they see other frequencies, then seeing the IR might be a thing. Yeah, it's a very real possibility. And if we can further confirm this, then it'll help us going forward to try, because we'll need to find out a way to place cameras that they can't detect. Now, someone was it? I think it was Patrick Fawn talking about if it's in like kind of in the ground. So you're basically grounding out the field, that it might hide the fact that the item is there. In which case, it's possible, like, because some people have been trying to put a Faraday cage around the devices, like they have these bags that serve as a Faraday cage and stuff like that. But I think you would need to ground it to hide it better. Without us being able to actually see these fields, it's really hard for us to know exactly what something else may be seeing. But I think that we're getting more on the right track of how do we hide this equipment to where they can't detect it. So grounding, and Faraday cages that are grounded, and when you use a Faraday cage for yourself, you do want to ground it to discharge those negative frequencies. You don't want to. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but you really should think about it. Some people construct a Faraday cage all the way around their bed, and it helps them sleep better. Some people are grounding themselves, because humans up until very, very recently were pretty much always in contact with the ground. We were electrically grounded. There's something to this. You just got to look into it yourself. More of the weird science. Again, it's going to sound like woo to some people, but you need to be in better health, and you need to ground out. Some people have been able to get rid of pain by grounding themselves. You should experience grounding sometimes, like, you go swimming or when you take a shower. You should be grounded, somewhere along the line that water's encountering a metal fitting somewhere that's in the ground, so the water should be grounded. But humans went barefoot. They slept on the ground. They were electrically connected to the earth, and we've been isolating ourselves. So we need to fix that. Now it's hard to ground, like in the course of the day. Like, I don't have it here, but you can get like if you're sitting at a desk, which I got to spend a lot of time at a desk now again. So what you can do is you get this mat, and it's got, it's conductive, and it's similar to this thing here. Here, I'll just show you guys. This is a grounding mat that you can sleep on. You can get really big ones. It's hard to see in this light, but it's a fabric, but it's conductive, and it snaps on a little wire Let me get some light on this sucker. So that snaps on. It's just like a snap on your jacket or something. It snaps on this wire, and you can lay on it, put your head on it. Anyway, you can get these mats where you put it at your desk, and it snaps on the same way. To ground yourself while you're sleeping or when you're at your desk, you can rest your hands on it. And hold on, let me show you this. The other end of this wire looks like this. You plug this into the ground in an outlet, because the outlet in your house or in your office or wherever you're at is grounded. You know, you can't. I got the other end of this attached to a grounding rod stuck in the ground outside the van because I'm on rubber tires. I'm isolated from the earth, so this fixes that little issue. This plugs into another wire that goes to the grounding wire outside, stuck in the ground. You can plug this into your electrical outlet into the ground hole, and ground yourself. Now you want to check it. Hold on a second. You know, because some people's ground, I mean, I've been shocked playing around, you know, because sometimes shit ain't wired right, okay? So you need to, I need to not aim that at the camera. You need to get, it's not that, it's like $20 or something. This device will tell you if it's, you plug it in and it tells you if you're correct, your ground is legit, right? Sometimes shit's cross-wired in ways it shouldn't be, and you know, you can actually get electrical shock if you're in a situation like that. So you want to check it. But yeah, some weird science. A lot of people aren't buying it, but I think that's because they don't really know anything about it. But anyway, so, you know, I think that, yeah, if you're putting a camera to look at Bigfoot in a Faraday cage, I think you need to make sure it's grounded. And I'm pretty sure it was Patrick Vaughn talking about that, putting the, like, I don't know if he made a hole in a bank or something and stuck the camera back in there. Because then, you know, those frequencies coming out are encountering the earth all around except where the opening's at. The only issue is where the lens is at. There might be a solution to that. Maybe you know, because you have like those windows that have like a metal, like some of them have gold film in the glass or on the glass. And then ground that piece of glass, that metallized glass. So, you know, I think we're going down the right direction with this. So, but we'll see. We need to keep, it's just like High Check was trying to tell people. It's like, we got to try some shit. We got to try some stuff before we, you know, because we don't know what we're dealing with. Uncle Bob says to Michael, no worries, it's just about the race cars. I used to race when I was young. Thought you would enjoy. Then he says, I'm rethinking everything to do with Sasquatch. I'm going to have to reevaluate everything I believe after the events of this week. Yeah. See, this is how we actually start to figure stuff out. And you stop listening to the whole idea, oh, we can't be challenging people, you know, or they won't come forward with their stories. Stories are just stories. Experimentation, science, trial and error. That's the stuff that's going to get us some more information. So, stories are great. If you want to sit and listen to stories, that's cool. I'm just saying, stop attacking people who are challenging the stories that are bullshit. Okay, we need to, if we're going to listen to stories, we want to listen to true stories, right? We don't want to give an audience to people that are completely full of shit and using us for for profit or for attention or whatever the freak they want. They want something. They're doing it for some reason. Brandy said I ate a tiny bit of shrooms one time. They smell. Scared. The certain colors got all bright. Leaves looked like they were melting. Not too much excitement. Yeah, some people have a bad experience, But there's been some trials going on with PTSD, administering mushrooms. Unfortunately, there's some pharmaceutical interest in just certain ingredients in the mushrooms. The problem with that, and if you go listen to my mycologist Paul Stamets, talks about how there's a whole bunch of other compounds in the actual mushroom. So if you take some pharmaceutical companies lab created shit, it doesn't have all that other stuff in it that contributes to the health benefits from a particular mushroom. We're not just talking about psychedelics, though. We're talking about other types of mushrooms. If you know someone who has cancer, you might want to go check out Paul Stamets talking about turkey tail mushrooms and his mom and stuff like that. These natural things that may be able to help you beat cancer. YouTube, and not a doctor, not giving medical advice. Everybody go do your own research. There's been research on turkey tail mushrooms. Paul Stamets talks about this some in regards to, his mom in particular and her cancer. So just check it out. But don't let your first experience, it could have been. There's just so many things, because different mushrooms have different strength and it's you can't really standardize what you're getting out of them. And what you're seeing, like you said, colors got all brighter. You were seeing more than you normally see. And when we're talking about seeing more than you normally see, you're starting to look into frequencies that are getting more towards the spiritual frequencies. So people interested in ghosts and spirits and these metaphysical entities that are out there, you should take interest in this stuff. When you're looking at something like ayahuasca, the South American, it's a combination. They use two plants to achieve the effect, and but one of those plants is one that allows it to function orally. Because if you take it orally, that particular thing, it won't work because you have an enzyme in your stomach that destroys it. But there's this other plant has an MAO inhibitor in it that allows you to take it in orally. But people have done an ayahuasca ceremony. You're what you're taking in is DMT, basically. There's been people that have shared an experience, when they talk later, that we were together, we had interaction, we were able to each describe that interaction as if we were in each other's vision, because it excuse me, COVID's acting up. No, I don't got no damn COVID. They were interacting in the spiritual, for lack of a better word, the spiritual realm. I don't know what else to really call it. The word spiritual has so much connotation. People have a certain idea of what that means depending on what their belief system is. To me, it's just frequencies in the ether beyond what we normally. In this reality, in order for everything to function correctly, we're supposed to be isolated from the rest of it, so that we can interact and function and do what we need to do in this reality while we're here, while we're operating our meat puppet. This is not you, okay? This is not you. The origin of you is not here. This is just a meat puppet. It's just something you're what you are is operating this thing right now. It connects to it. It's just frequencies in the ether, man. But so I don't know. Like, if you do it again, you need guidance. Like, it's like Paul Stamets says, people are doing this as like a party thing, and they're just jacking around. They're not giving it the proper reverence and respect. Like I don't consider myself necessarily a religious person, but it should be treated as if it's a religious experience, and have someone who has that same idea in mind, a shaman of some kind, a guide of some kind, who isn't there to help you trip. They're there to help you have an experience, maybe solve some issues you're having. I mean, whatever you're looking to accomplish. Get closer to enlightenment. So don't let a bad experience prevent you from trying again. It's just maybe you need to try it again. If you feel like you have any goals to achieve by doing it, don't do it if you don't really have a goal in mind. But get a proper guide, and don't do it in a party. It's not a party drug. It should not be a party drug. That's just not the proper way to use this kind of substance. Many moons ago, she says, you're going to check it out. You're talking about Pat's show, Squatch Talk last night, High Check and Tactical Bigfoot, and talking about Bigfoot may appear, they may actually be pink when they look at each other. We see this brown thing that hides really well. They may actually be pink. Miss Lee says, you want to try it? I think it would have much benefit for you. Open your mind. Well, and Lee, look, it's illegal here. There could be serious ramifications for me if I were caught involved in anything like that. I don't think the drug tests for my job test for that kind of thing, but they might. There's just too much too much at stake. So for now, it's just not an option for me. But I do think it will help me with something, because I feel like there's a point where the logical thought process, I think, is detrimental to being able to achieve certain things, to perceive certain things, like with lucid dreaming and astral projection and remote viewing. Like, these things, that logical part of my brain is like a block to that. I think something like psilocybin mushrooms may help me break that barrier down. It'd be temporarily, but it would allow me to see, and having the mindset that I have, I'm not going to be, whatever I see, I'm not going to be like, well, I'm just hallucinating, I'm just partying. No, I'm not doing that. I'm actually perceiving things beyond my normal perception, and maybe I'll get useful information out of it instead of what most people partying get, which is absolutely nothing. They think they were just having fun. They totally disrespect what these things are really about. So, and the mental improvement, the would obviously be beneficial to everybody, but again, it's illegal to do. Now, I think our government knows damn good and well what this stuff is and what it does, and that's why it's illegal. That's the real reason why it's illegal. No one's died from a mushroom overdose. Now, someone might have walked off a balcony or some shit, but that's because they were a dumb fuck. You know, you should not enter into altered state of consciousness in a situation where you don't have someone there to ensure that everything is okay. Make sure that you stay safe. So would I like to? Yes. I think that I may later in life. But I just can't right now. Our nation is freaking insane, and there's just roadblocks to it. No, I agree. I mean, I'm telling you, I need to. I think I got this block in my head that prevents me from exploring certain aspects of reality. Yeah, I've learned what I need to learn and know, but it's like there's enough doubt in there to prevent me from crossing certain thresholds. Yeah, no problem. No worries, Mr. Lee. No worries. Uncle Bo says you are welcome. I'm about watching Dirt Vision as we speak. It did have some trips, but nothing ever bad. Yeah. Well, it's like what some people have said. I think Rogan talks about this stuff every so often on his show. I haven't watched him in a long time, but he used to. Anyway, that a lot of times with this stuff, what you get out of it is what you bring with you, I think is how he put it. So if there's some negative stuff and some bad stuff that comes out and you have like a bad experience, it's not really about the substance. It's about what's going on in your head. And it's revealing that there's some things you need to work through. So proceed carefully if you do, and with someone experienced with that kind of stuff, that a guide that can help you work through whatever issues you have. These things help people realize on some level, we're all, because the universe is this one thing, right? And ultimately, we're all part of that one thing. So a lot of people get that in their head after they use something like DMT. DMT, I feel like DMT is really like a level beyond like the psilocybin substances in these psychedelic mushrooms. But anyway, so they become kinder people, nicer people. They have there's something in their head that's clicking differently than before after their experience. Like they meet another person, but they also have this part of their head that realizes that person is part of the same thing that they are, and they're one. They did some trials with like prisoners. It wasn't trials. It was like, where they used like they found people that had used mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms. I need to get in the habit of pronouncing it correctly. Psilocybin. not psilocybin. Psilocybin mushrooms. Anyway, it turned out, and of course there needs to be more science done on it, but preliminarily anyway, it turns out that people who have used mushrooms, criminals, tend not to commit another violent crime after they've used mushrooms. So it just has nothing but benefits to humanity. It makes people nicer. It makes people less likely to commit criminal violent acts. It helps people with PTSD. It improves intellect. You know, all these Silicon Valley computer programmers are not using small doses of psilocybin mushrooms for no good reason. There's a reason. It helps them program. It helps with your intellect and your mind. I'm going to try and catch up to some freaking chat here. This wasn't high school. Remember, I was a hippie back in the day. Yeah, it was a hippie thing. It was a hippie thing. Hey, Michael says he loves you more for being a hippie. Hex material they use for hunting. Is that what they call the Faraday bags that they put over them? That they if they aren't grounding, then they probably should be. They should be. You just attach a wire to it somehow, and then I mean you don't have to have, like, I have a ground rod that was produced specifically for this purpose, for this grounding pad, and the plugs into this, and I can show you the end of the wire. I mean, this is the wire going to the pad. You can plug this into an outlet ground port, but it can also plug into this gray wire, which runs out to the grounding rod outside. But yeah, I think they probably should be using a ground wire, but they probably need to hide it somehow. But they might want to think about that. They might at least try it. I mean, it's like Ichek said, just try some shit. He didn't put it that way, but not participating in that scare. Hiveless is not participating. It scares you, yeah. Thank you, Judy. I don't think it hurt me none. I was in the gym business for 16 years. Then at 43, went to college, studied math education, then worked 25 years at school. Yeah, it won't hurt people mostly. I think people that have a problem when they use it is someone they got some kind of issue in their own that they need to work through, and it would be to their benefit to find an appropriate guide who can help them deal with it. Because a person shouldn't necessarily have these negative experiences. Paramedics here, welcome. Don't do that. No, that's not how you achieve grounding. I mean, I guess you could. You shove a wire up there and then stab it at the other end of the wire in the ground. You're grounded. Maybe it'd improve your morning constitution. But oh man, Ario, yeah. Mr. Lee says we shall see. What would generate the electrical discharge in the Faraday cage for electrocution? For electrocution? exactly what you're saying. I'm just saying, typically you want to ground your Faraday cage just to discharge what the cage is blocking. But welcome to the chat, Patrick. Yeah, what that was you is talking about putting the camera in the ground, though, right? I think that was you. Yes, definitely. I think they're getting some real good science on that, Hiveless. Icon's back. Welcome. Let's see here. Y'all hear that goose? Let's see here. I'm sure you guys can hear him. He's goose squawking because my brother just walked by. He's talking to him. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, there's some people that tried to make it this pretty much the same case what I was just making for psilocybin mushrooms that were evolved to use THC. I'm not buying that line of reasoning. They're going to have to come up with something. They're going to have to come up with a little bit something better than what they presented so far. Michael says Stamets has me wanting to eat some chicken of the woods shrooms. Yeah. Everyone should check out some Stamets. He's done some good work. Actually, I got some Stamets because this is one of the reasons why I need a stationary place to be with a lab and a place to grow mushrooms and stuff where nobody's gonna screw with anything. But so I can't really grow my own mushrooms these days very easily. Too mobile. It's kind of hard. But Paul Stamets took it upon himself. You got to be careful with supplement people, right? Paul Stamets, I trust Paul Stamets. I don't think he's bullshitting this. But anyway, he created this. He grows mushrooms and creates supplements for people who are, like me, can't just grow their own all the time. Anyway, here's one of them. This is like this is probably the king of his supplements right here, because it has so many different kinds of mushrooms in it. I don't know if I can get it close enough for you guys to read. So anyone watching this on the replay, well, you could go look it up and see all the ingredients in it. And then you're going to spend some time looking into the science behind a lot of this stuff. You can see turkey tail is in there. And you see that word mycelium? That's very important, because a lot of people will try and sell you just the fruiting body, the mushroom that you see. But the mycelium is the body of the fungus. It lives under the ground. It's made up of a mat of all these tiny little, typically white fibers. And so there's different properties to the different parts. Now that supplement there, my community has cordyceps in it, but I still have a little bit left of this one here. It's just the cordyceps that he makes. And then there's one that's a brain. He works on the brain. Look up look up. If you're looking to boost your mind, look up lion's mane. Now, there's some lion's mane in here, as I recall, but look up the science behind lion's mane's effect on your mind. The reason why I got this one in addition to this one, because it has a smaller amount of lion's mane in it, but a lot of the research done on lion's mane was done with much higher quantities than what's in here. So I add to it to reach those levels with this. But and this one here, god damn it! Here, just grab another canister. Cause I dropped that down there. These are in capsules, so you just swallow the capsules. But this is just the powdered, colonized mycelium dried out. So you can mix it in a shake or something, or just mix it with some water. It doesn't taste that bad, but typically with something like that, I just spoon it into my mouth and wash it down with water. This kind of reacts a little bit like kratom powder does, though. So it's got a little bit of a hydrophobic nature to it, and it'll kind of stick to the roof of your mouth, and you kind of got to take a few swigs to get it to go down. And but it doesn't really taste horrible or anything. It's not like kratom. Kratom is god awful. For the love of whatever god you worship, do not toss and wash kratom if you use that. Which toss and wash means you scoop out a spoon of the powder, dump it in your mouth, and then wash it down with some water. That can work with this, and it can work with something like I do creatine monohydrate that way, like pure creatine monohydrate powder, not a drink mix, because it's just, I'm sick of drink mixes. I don't want to drink a bunch of stuff and take a bunch of pills if I can help it. So that's the way I deal with that, reduce that, right? Is with stuff that's just in the powdered form that I can toss and wash. So, kratom, I think we've mentioned it before on here. I don't like it. It upsets my stomach. I don't need it necessarily. There's other options that are better, and in some states, kratom is illegal. But if you got pain, you need to look into the pain-killing variety. If you look into kratom, you need to look into there's different varieties. But yeah, Paul Stamets, man, probably the best source of information on mushrooms, and specifically psilocybin mushrooms on the planet right now. He doesn't know it, but he was officially designated the Imperial Mycologist years ago. At the founding of the Eternus Empire, he was designated the Imperial Mycologist. I know that means nothing to a lot of people in here, but saying hi to Hiveless. Saying hi to everybody. I need to catch up in this chat. Step away from the bong. Yeah, step away from the bong. Yeah, believe it or not, I've never ever tried that stuff. Never ever tried weed. I don't have any desire to. I mean, it just doesn't. It doesn't attract my interest. Mr. Lee says, I want to try DMT. I'll let you know how it goes, Lockbeard. Yeah. Hopefully it's in a good situation, in a ceremonial, more of a ceremonial context than a party atmosphere. This is not something you want to do in a flippant manner. It needs to be approached with a certain respect. You are interacting with the spiritual world. And just knowing that you are interacting with the spiritual world, you're not just tripping. There's biochemical barriers between your normal mind in this world and the spiritual realm. And when you take that stuff, you're opening a window, you're cracking a door, and you're perceiving beyond what you're normally meant to perceive in the normal everyday life of a human. So just be careful, do it correctly, have a guide, have someone there that's not tripping, who is there specifically to make sure that you are safe and doing things correctly. And yeah, Mr. Lee, I don't think he'll ever put down the wacky weed. It may be, Mr. Lee, 50,000 years from now, it might be a full-fledged worldwide. It might be you know what I mean? You never know how, because if you study the history of world religions, and see, most people haven't really done that, okay? They don't, like I had one guy, I mentioned the connection between Islam and Christianity, and he got all pissed off, all bent out of shape. His dad was a preacher and stuff like that. And, the idea, like, religious scholars know the truth. This guy doesn't know shit. Okay, let's just be real. He doesn't know shit. Christianity and Islam were branches off of the same religion at some point. About 1,400 years ago, roughly, they diverged from each other and became these two. They appear to be very different things to your average person, but if you study them both closely, you see all the connections. And if you learn religious history, you'll know, you'll understand, and talk to the religious scholars, the ones who actually know, who have studied this stuff, which almost none of you probably have. A few may have. They come from the same place. He was mad because he perceives Islam as this evil thing from Satan. Now, from my perspective, they're basically the same thing, which I get. It pisses off a lot of people when you say that, but they are so heavily connected to each other and have so many things that are very similar, because they evolved out of the same religion at some point. So, whatever. Patrick says if we brought wisdom, dope heads would be doing theoretical mathematics, solving world snack hunger. But they can't. Oh shit! We've opened that door. There are old time videos of this on YouTube. Most times, anything under an eighth isn't going to do much for you. Same could be said for trackers tracking the Sasquatch. Oh, burn, Mr. Lee! How could you? How could you? Your invite to Squatch Talk might get rescinded. Oh shit! It's only illegal if you get caught. Yeah, Icon. I can't risk it. It's not worth it. Later in life, hopefully the legal issue starts to go away in more and more areas, and yeah. What about ketamine? Well, I don't know a whole lot about ketamine, but so I really can't speak to that. Howdy, when did you get in? We all have issues. Judy says, Lockbeard, what do you think about Dr. Stephen Greer? Oh man, I don't know what to make. My first instinct is this guy's lying out his ass. Maybe he has a few pieces of real information. I don't know. That decompiling that whole mess, like he's saying some pretty crazy stuff, but there might be some facts mixed in there. I'm just saying, how do we confirm anything that he's saying? You know, how do we confirm any of it? Then the chat jumped on me. I am way behind in chat. Hold on a second. No, I am two-stepping, listen here, watching the World of Outlaws, multitasker, listening to Achaeos, Thelonious Monk, and reading emails. Her battles and skeletons. Yep, tattooed monkey. Gotta love the tattooed monkey. Yeah. Now, if you talk to him, don't talk to him about psychedelics. Don't even bring it up over there. He believes you should achieve these things through other means. And don't bring up meditation. I'm trying to help you here. If you go over to the tattooed monkey stream, don't bring up those things. It's a complete waste of time. Our time on those live streams could be better spent if people did not bring up weed, psychedelic drugs, meditation, flat earth. I'm sorry, Hiveless. No flat earth over there. And no, he is not in the Illuminati. Don't bring up his deceased wife. It's not that he reacts badly to it. It's just that he starts to say some things about it that we've all heard 1,000 times. It's not helping us learn anything more over there or achieve anything good in the conversation. It's just completely pointless to bring it up. I don't know. I feel like there's like agents in there that come there specifically to muddy the water and slow down the learning that can take place there by just bringing up all the stuff that we all know damn good and well. It's completely pointless to bring these things up over there at Ken's channel. Don't bring up drugs. Don't bring up alcohol. Don't bring up his ex-wife. Don't bring up meditation. And do not bring up flat earth or electric universe theory. It's completely pointless to bring up any of that shit over there. Electrocution by death must have been brutal. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of death penalty, no. I'll just walk barefoot and get my grounding. Yeah, you can do it that way, you know. Earthing, yeah. Judy, that sounds great. That's the best way if you can. I watched the video Hava sent me about grounding, and I'm going to order that mat Lockbeard has. I'm housebound. Yeah, it may help you. I mean, a lot of, like if you have pain, actually, Hivas, that video that he suggested to us the other night, it talks about that. It talks about people using grounding to alleviate pain and heal illness. You know, it's just here I am decades later wondering, you know, why is this not common knowledge? Why our medical establishment should be teaching this people, say, look, you need to get back in contact with the earth. You're supposed to be in contact with the earth. You'll heal better. You'll sleep better. Your pain will be lessened. You know, these are just the way it is. Feels good to your footsies, yeah. You too, Mr. Lee. Mix it. I'd choke on that shit. Mix it in the shot glass. It might work. I don't know. It doesn't seem to want to mix with water very well. Same thing for kratom. It does not want to mix with water. If you take kratom, take it in the capsules. I hate swallowing a bunch of capsules all the time, but some things you just can't avoid it. It's the only way to get it. And kratom is one if you're going to use kratom, use capsules. Sounds a great idea. I'm housebound sometimes myself. Yeah. I mean, you could probably rig up some grounding stuff. I could have probably taken some old wire laying around and wrapped it around the end of this mat cord, and then run it to a piece of rebar out the door. I could have done that, but I bought an actual device actually made for that. So either way, it'll work. Or maybe you have an old ground rod laying around from a house or something. Who knows? It'll work. I'm going to try. I'm so far behind chat. It's unbelievable. I'm going to be skipping a lot of stuff here. Yes. Mark Dom says, Joe, who have you been yapping to? Oh, there's Squatching Cowboy up in here. We was just talking about you earlier, Squatching Cowboy. Connor was in here, and I was telling him I was just looking at his mug on your video, one of your videos from the Squatch Out, where y'all were sitting around the fire playing music and talking. You were talking to those kids, and looked like y'all had a good time. With Jude Wheeler, that link, please, to the grounding vid. Hiveless, we'll have to tell you the name of it. I forget the exact name of that one. There's a lot of stuff out there, though. I mean, you can find out. You don't necessarily need that particular video, but it talks about some of this stuff. Chuck, there's only one bloke I know that would have called me that, but that was years ago. My brother. Have you been texting him? Squatch Cowboy knows your name. You're by Chuck. Hiveless. Did he say something about it? I don't see. Must be pretty far back. It's hard to sort all this out, but I know how to trip and open windows. Cowboy, I looked at Gene the Dancing Machine on YouTube. They're looking twin brother. You're a bit of a Sturgio. He's one good looking rooster. What can I say? There's Joe. Joe, I'm real late finding this comment. I'm so far behind in chat, trying to catch up. But welcome to the chat, man. Well, I am just telling you what he said, Mark. Jen says the Gong Show, isn't that where Gene goes? Gene the Dancing Machine was. Good vids today. He said he would. I'm going to be jumping through this fast as I can, trying to catch up to you guys. It's Brandy, just an old fat Sasquatch investigator stumbling through the woods with his dog looking for signs. Doing good. How about you? Hang on. Thinking about going out to do a night mission. Uh-oh. It's getting serious there. Maybe probably, I don't know, colostomy bag, heavy artillery. I don't know. Caught at night, Mr. Lee. Get a flashlight and go. Mental masturbation. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, once he said stuff like meditation doesn't refer to anything, right? Which, of course, he's right. You know, people start taking offense because they meditate as a way of life. And he's like, it isn't like I said it doesn't have some benefits. You know, they read more into it than what they should. And maybe sometimes his presentation could use some work. But, you know, come on. People just chill a little bit. So don't bring up the true cosmology of the realm. Okay. Look, Hiveless, I'm sorry. One of these days I'll get you back on track with the reality. The true cosmology of the realm is exactly what Ken Wheeler's talking about over there. You know, he tells everybody that it's not flat. I'm sorry, dude. The evidence that we can all observe every day, the experiments that you can perform, you know, so far no flat earther has been able to present one piece of actual evidence to prove what they're saying. You know, they have a bunch of stuff that they think is evidence, but it's not. And unfortunately, you know, for a lot of people, they're too prideful. Their ego is just, they won't let them. They admit that they might have got fooled by something. You know, it's just good salesmen selling that whole idea. Sorry, man. Joe says, I don't watch horror films that take place in the woods before I go, Mr. Lee. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Don't bring up nothing. Just sit there and smile. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, just sit there and listen. You know, unless you got some specific questions. Like occasionally I'll come up with some specific questions, you know. What I asked last night or night before is about the water device. I'm wondering if it may be beneficial to not run the water through the North Pole part of the magnetic field. So he said it doesn't matter for the water device. I'm wondering if he might be wrong about that. I don't mean to second guess the master of field theory, but you know, the way his water device is constructed is like this one, where it wraps all the way around the magnet. The water goes around. It should be sitting like this. You funnel the water in here, circles around through the field, and it's passing both the north and the south poles. Well, in the magnetic seed experiments and other experiments done with magnetic fields in this regard, if you want positive results, you don't put the seeds in the North Pole. I'm not getting those reversed, am I? Sometimes I say it in reverse. You put them in the South Pole. So, is it possible that you would be better off not to run the water past the North Pole side? And I got a chip in my damn magnet. Damn it. And to only pass the water through on the south side of the magnet. Now, he says no. Once I get me a lab, I'm going to try some experiments in that regard and see what happens. Can't hurt, right? Can't hurt. Give it a try. Judy Wheeler says, I posted a link in the comments section for my last video, the Friend Simulator. Good tip, Joe, about don't watch horror movies that take place in the woods. I don't know what part you're referring to, but thank you, Mr. Lee. Seriously though, Mr. Lee, I'll make all my cameras are charged up, especially my night vision scope. Brandy says, but they wouldn't profit off of that, Lockbeard. Why would they offer free healing? Exactly. A lot of people think we're just conspiracy nuts for even suggesting such a thing, but come on, at this point, try to keep up, people. I don't know what else to say. You know, they completely fooled the world with this completely fraudulent plague. There are so many things that indicate it's fraud that it's just. I swear, every time I handle that magnet, I have a little bit of an ache in my fingers. That's a neodymium magnet. It's very strong. I don't know why that would be though. It's worth a try. Thanks, Hive. Well played, sir. Uncle Bones. Michael says, I see the B cult numbers are going up. The B cult numbers? I don't know. Don't bring up that Coral Castle dickhead. Yeah, don't bring up the Coral Castle. Sadhguru. I think Sadhguru has got a few things to say that people should hear and listen to and take to heart and all that stuff. Marx, Nietzsche. Yeah. Just don't waste time talking about shit that. But yeah, we're getting, he's got 250,000 subscribers or some shit now. So there's new people coming in all the damn time who don't watch him religiously like you and I do, pretty much. I think you more than me. I've been missing a lot of live streams. And time is at a premium. But they come in and they ask some of the same damn questions we've seen him answer over and over. Don't ask about his ex-girlfriend either. Oh, jeez. I don't want to hear about that bitch I don't want to hear about that bitch anymore. That was years ago. They're still asking about that bitch. The grift is real, Michael Haywood. Yeah. Did I miss something? Can we get Patrick on video doing the Macarena? You got to talk to Squatch Talk about that. Talk to Pat about that. I can't get anyone on video. It won't work. I've never tried bringing anyone on here, but anytime I tried to get on I tried to get on Moog's and Pat's show, and it don't freaking work. So they're gonna have to do that over at Squatch Talk. Grift on. I did Macarena on one of my videos. Joe did. I don't hate the grifter, hate the grift. Oh, shoot. Let me see. I'm going to have to skip ahead here. The grounding documentary film about earthing. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, there's some good information in that video. Hiveless might be a flat earther, but that's a good video. To introduce you to some of this stuff, you definitely need to go and do some look. You need to look further, but this will introduce you to it. Okay. Payroll, the film about earthing. Oh, that was that message came through twice for some reason. Crazy Chuck Barris, do it all time meditation. Yeah, people think Ken is. He's just saying meditation isn't everything that some people claim. He didn't say it's not beneficial at all. I like the Gong Show. I posted a link to the grounding vid in the comments of my last vid. If I still had it pulled, I don't still have it pulled up though. So otherwise, I'd go ahead and post it here. But it was in one of my last couple of live streams though too, in the comments somewhere. Watched Stock on Chuck. He said he hated going on the show because he was shy. Brandy says, I'll accept video uploads as payment whenever you feel like it, Cowboy. Trying to encourage Cowboy to upload some stuff. Yeah. Everybody go check out Cowboy's channel now. You get to see how Connor behaves in a normal social situation as opposed to the whirlwind. Because when he gets on the show, like on some of the people's shows he's come as a guest, he's going so fast. It's just this whirlwind, and it's he was definitely slowed down a bit in those situations at the Squatch Out on the videos. The Squatching Cowboy has a whole like a series of videos of the Squatch Out. So if you want to see, like, if you want to just see what was going on and just real life Squatch Out, that's where you're going to see. I don't know if anyone's got that much uploaded, that much footage of the Squatch Out besides the Squatching Cowboy. You see Mogs there and everybody else. Someone else might have more. I'm just not aware of it. The Squatching Cowboy has, I don't know, it was like 6 or 7 videos at least. I'm not sure. But he uploaded a whole bunch about the footage from the Squatch Out. Joe says, if y'all don't see me after this, it means I probably ran into Rasta again. This time it didn't go so well. Take some of Mr. Lee's weed and offer it to him. It hasn't been negated at all. It hasn't been. I know there's people out there that they sound convincing, but they're just good salesmen. And a good salesman can sell you shit that you do not need or want. They can convince you to buy it anyway. And that's what has happened with the flat earth thing. But let's not get into it. Yeah, let's not get into it. We're talking about psychedelic Bigfoot, or we're trying to. Bigfoot is apparently straight up psychedelic, according to a few people speaking of it of late. Well, they didn't put it that way. I saw JP Morgan flash the gong show audience. Just get it on film, Joe. Yeah, just get it on film. Not much to show there, Michael. Yeah. Joe, they're wanting you to upload, man. Don't slow down on the uploads. I'm trying, Brandon, but I'm not going to show dark spots in the bushes. Well, it's okay to show as long as you're not saying, see, that's definitely Bigfoot. I know it's a Bigfoot. It's got to be. But it only looks like a shadow. You're not doing that, right? You're not like Sasky. Did I say that? Brandy says we enjoy seeing those ribeyes too. Yeah, ribeyes is good stuff. I'll try, Brandy, but it'll be my last video, so I don't know how anyone would see it unless they find night vision scope. So we're trying to get two people to upload videos up in here, Joe and Joe. The non-Bigfooters are probably confused at this point. Where I'll report you missing 411. Oh no, knock on wood. You got it right. South pole for the seeds, both poles for the water to reset the field, not amplify either one. Yeah, but I just wonder if there might be benefit to to doing just North Pole on the water. I mean, it will reset, but no matter which pole you use, or if you use both. But I just wonder if there might be some positive benefit to doing just one. So I think I'll try it at some point. Just figure out some kind of experiment to test and see if it has had any effect on the water, positive to negative. Pass some through a South Pole, some through a North Pole, some through both. Compare it to a control that was passed through neither, and then grow some plants in it or something. Maybe I'll get some flying squirrels and give the water to them. No, I wouldn't do that to flying squirrels. Flying squirrels are too hard to come by. Some gerbils or some shit. Bologna. No, don't eat bologna. That's horrible. Eat ribeyes. Yeah. Yeah, he could have and he didn't. You're probably safe. Meredith, welcome. Damn internet. Yeah, hello, LOCKBEARD. What's up? Welcome back. I can only hope, Brandy. Lots of highs to Meredith. Man, she must really be a bitch if you're calling her bitch. Well, I'm just going on. To be fair, I only have Ken's side of the story. And if you watched Ken for years, like me and Icon, I think me and Icon would probably agree that Ken might be trying at times himself. Yeah. Oh, shit. No, Icon. Man, whose name I missed? Hi to y'all. Yeah. It's hard to get everybody sometimes. Yeah. Don't let that accent affect you too much now. I went with some friends into Canada one time, and they were all the girls up there. They said we sounded like John Wayne. We're like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We're from Oklahoma. It cracks me up every time. Can't help but think of the look on his face when she first said it. What are you talking about? Had a few Bud Lights in him. We're going to start Brandy's daily rant about human behavior that confuses me. That'd be cool. I keep giving him beer so he might slow down. Come your wisdom weed. There it says, who started teaching kids the earth is round in school or wherever they are learning from? So is the sun a triangle shaped also? Well, the sun is just a globe like every other planet and moons of adequate size to begin to level out, to round out. We need to rant release. Yeah, do a team. You got that all girls group. You ought to like get some of them together. Say, look, we all get in there in this rant panel and just go off on shit. Cowboy made me feel a lot better about not making it to the squat shot with his videos. Yeah, you definitely kind of see, like, it's like you get to see, just a lot of the stuff that was happening, and just feel like you at least get some experience of what happened at the squat shot. We'd love to hear if other people also feel the way about certain things. Joe says, I couldn't see Sasquatch getting drunk on fermented apple. I could see Seen bears that way, and even deer, drunk as monkeys. Yeah, a lot of animals do it. They get a hold of some old fruit on the ground. Squirrels, squirrels get drunk all the time. They're fucking alcoholics. They like when people rant, true colors. Also gets the stress out sometimes. Exactly. Can't afford ribeyes. Can't afford ribeyes. Somebody go over to his PayPal and throw some ribeye money in that bitch. A man should have ribeyes, damn it. Icon says the polls really don't work selectively. It's not in their nature. I know. I just wonder. Always buy beef by the side, far cheaper. Yeah. Raise them if you can. Go shoot some deer, man. Eat some deer. Season's started, I think. Just got a ribeye for dinner tomorrow. I'm going to try and make sure I have one tomorrow myself, but I've been eating really bad lately. Mr. Lee is probably going to smoke a little more and drink a little more to deal with how bad my diet was today. Do you want to hear it, Mr. Lee? Do you want to hear what I ate today? What did I eat today? Well, it started with me driving down the road. I was going to different places, running errands and getting some stuff I needed, and I saw this Italian restaurant. And as you know, there is nothing keto about an Italian restaurant. And certainly not straight up carnivore. They had some calamari though. Love some calamari, but it was very lightly breaded calamari. It's the most lightly breaded calamari I've ever had, and it was pretty damn good. Who was asking? Patrick. Oh, Mr. Lee's at. Yeah, usually it seems like everybody, like occasionally someone gets it twisted up, but if they say Pat, they mean Squatch Talk Pat, and if they say Patrick, they mean Patrick Vaughn. You almost got to just make sure you say the last names, or just call Pat Squatch Talk, or dang it, I can't remember Pat's last name right now, but yeah, Squatch Talk Pat. I have to say that ribeye is my favorite, tastiest steak. Yeah, good stuff. There we go. Use the ladies page. Well, then everybody else can't see it. I think you need to do it on YouTube. Y'all need to get your faces on the screen. Because, without seeing your faces, we can't see your true disgust in humanity. Did I miss anything? Had to get a cup of... Oh, you probably missed a lot. I don't know. Not too much. 32 pounds. Price of a 7-pound Angus rib roast. Damn, cowboy, it's half that there. Joe says he's all right. He's gonna go eat some dinner and go do the night investigation. Put up whatever I get on my channel. Keep rocking, Lockbeard. You too, Joe. Have fun out there. Tell me a Lockbeard. Huh? I don't know what you mean, Mr. Lee. Oh yeah, the calamari was awesome. I don't know how they can make that like perfectly keto. It's not too bad because there might be a tablespoon of flour on all in total. It was pretty good sized serving. it was an appetizer, but it was so lightly breaded there wasn't that much on there. But I don't know if maybe they could do like a Parmesan crusted version. That would be carnivore and keto both. I don't understand why you like to watch people eat cakes, Mr. Lee. Sandra says, Joe, be careful. Pay $650 for 445-pound side of real Angus. It's the only way to go. Yeah, I don't know how I could pull that off until unless I get if I get a piece of ground like a landlubber and I have a place to put a freezer, then we can talk about that. But I don't have a freezer at all on board the van. And so, yeah. Just want to see Mogs eat some. Pasta heaven. Yeah. And of course, once I ate manicotti too. Of course, once you start eating carbs, it makes you hungrier. So next thing I know, I was eating some candy bars and shit just went totally sideways. And iced, what do you call those? Those cold coffee drinks. Man, I sugared out hard today. Cupcake cravings, an amazing baker. I know I could about eat everyone. Yeah. Because once you get going, the carbs make you hungrier and hungrier, and you'll just keep eating if you don't just make yourself stop. Oh. A big ass freezer, yeah. You need a big deep freeze. We had a huge deep freeze when I was growing up. Huge. You could have thrown probably 6 bodies in there. So I don't know. Nobody got some any other theories why Sasquatch is psychedelic, apparently? Assuming the hair samples are Sasquatch, did we really know for sure that any of them are? I don't know. The only thing I can figure is either they have the pink color for them to see each other and they can actually see that, or it's something that they're completely not aware of. They see just like us, and it's other animals in the woods that see them. Like there's been a benefit to other animals seeing them in the woods in those frequencies long enough that benefited the Bigfoot, that it selectively bred the Bigfoot to glow pinker and pinker over time to those animals. So I don't know. And of course, the other possibility is that it's just random chance. But I don't think I think it's unlikely that it's completely just a random occurrence. Jump over here on YouTube, see if Central Florida Bigfoot going to be on tonight. Is he going to have a regular show? Doesn't appear that he has started a live stream yet. Cheesecake is awesome. Randy says German chocolate mousse cake, lemon meringue pie, pineapple cheesecake, lemon raspberry. Oh shit! I have a feeling a bunch of people are about to eat some sweets after this. Reese's PB milkshake. Yeah. Don't give in. Resist. Resist. I can say psychedelic Sasquatch. What the fuck did I miss? Was there a 10 tensor panning out that I was not here? Um, well, if you're not aware, like here recently on some of the shows, like on over at Squatch Talk, and on Moog's show, they were talking about it over there too, about hair samples that have been taken that are suspected Sasquatch hairs that seem to fluoresce pink or shine back as pink under a UV light. And of course, that gets people to thinking and speculating and hypothesizing what this could mean, and why is it that other animals that have that feature tend to be nocturnal animals. So I guess the idea being that it may be that this is something that's a benefit to animals that are nocturnal for some reason, and if the hair samples are Bigfoot, it would be evidence that they benefit from the same. They benefit from it for the same reason, or it may be indication that they are primarily nocturnal. You know what I mean? So who knows what it means? But I just called it that to poke a little fun. And I mean, if Bigfoot glows pink under black light, is Bigfoot not in fact psychedelic? So I got my mama cheesecake for her birthday. Dark chocolate and more chocolate. Yeah. Keto for life, Mr. Lee. Well, hopefully we can all be keto or hopefully I can find a way to stick to just eating strictly carnivore myself. It's just better. It's better for my blood sugar, better for autoimmune issues, better for digestion, better for mental function. Get all the plants out of your diet. They all have toxins. The only thing that's is a exception, for very rare consumption, like a few times a year, is some fruit. And even then, you probably don't need it at all, because if you're overweight, you don't need it. You'd have to be extremely lean to really need to be consuming any kind of fruit. But vegetables, no. Vegetables are toxic. They're not these powerhouses of health that people have claimed. They just aren't. Birthday's coming. Sonic peanut butter fudge shake. Yeah, there was a period of time where I was showing up at Sonic every damn night for an Oreo peanut butter shake. The biggest size they had. Like, them girls knew, they saw me coming. The girl would be walking out the door with the shake made before I got parked. They were probably somewhat motivated because I always tip the girls at Sonic. I guess some people don't tip them. And I ain't chain. Give them $1 at least, sometimes $2. This just do it. It's for your benefit anyway. Like I said, a lot of times they would see me coming and they'd start making my shit. And if you tip really good, them servers know who you are. So they're certainly going to make sure you get your food faster. It's going to be made better. It's just tip your waitress, but you should primarily do it because you want to make sure that these people are getting, adequate income, because sometimes they aren't. and it's giving to people is good for you. Thanksgiving hits and it's all downhill from there, huh? Vanilla ice cream, damn. Yeah, I need to bring out the ice cream. Oh no! Don't do it, Icon. Don't do it. What a bunch of characters y'all are. I get a good laugh. Hot out of the oven, lemon pound cake. Oh, yeah, we've done messed everybody up tonight. Everybody's going to go get sweets. I already see it. What will the diet of the realm be, Lockbeard? Red meat, fatty red meat. People eat whatever the hell they want. I'm just saying, if you want to be healthy, humans are designed to eat primarily fatty red meat animals and some fish, shellfish, and stuff like that. But anyone, if you pay attention, like go look at there's carnivore groups out there and people talking about it. You get a little bit of it into it in like the Paleolithic people, and the keto people are starting to kind of get down the right track a little bit. At least they're getting rid of all the carbs. You need to get rid of all the carbs. Humans aren't supposed to have carbs all the time like we have now, and especially all this processed shit. This is why we got all the diabetes and heart disease and obesity and gut dysfunction and autoimmune issues and all this crap. It's all caused, or a lot of it's caused by diet. We're eating this stuff. Like even something like people think spinach is like a super healthy food. No, it's not. No. Especially if you're someone that gets stones that are oxalate based, because spinach, when you eat spinach, you kind of get that gritty to it. That gritty, there's some grittiness to it. That's oxalate crystals. Spinach is high in it, and if you get stones that are the oxalate type of stones, you do not need to eat spinach unless you like pissing spiny BBs. You do not need to eat spinach. It's just, and it's not like a lot of the, like if you're eating a zero fat diet, like people were pushing a low fat diet, right? Well, if you're not eating any fats, you're going to have a hard time absorbing fat soluble vitamins. You're going to have a hard time thinking too. Your brain needs fats. Your brain is mostly made up of fats. It was a complete lie that fat was bad for you in any way, shape, or form. This is a big subject. It would take a long time, but hey, in the realm of Lockbeard, I encourage everybody to eat. When I'm eating carnivore, I'm eating about a pound of meat a day, fatty red meat typically, or maybe some fish. In one meal, and you're not hungry. Like once you get a day, it takes a while to kind of get your body, because your body, like if you've been eating at 6 a.m. every morning your whole life, your body's going to keep creating a hunger response every morning for a while, because it just thinks that's what you're supposed to do. It has this internal clock. It's used to it. It'll just do it. So you got to find a way to ignore that hunger, like down a bunch of water or something in the morning for, probably a couple weeks before that hunger response goes away. And your body figures out, okay, we aren't eating at 6 a.m. in the morning anymore. And eventually get it backed off until you just eat at dinner, just eat once a day. And then experiment with longer term fasting. It's good for you. I can't give medical advice, but I'll say what I will do. If I ever get diagnosed with cancer, I will immediately stop eating entirely. And if you want to know why, you need to go do your own research into that. I will stop eating entirely, and I will not let the doctors poison me with keto or not keto, chemo, or with radiation, or start cutting on me. That's the last thing. Look, how the hell are you going to take someone who's sick and immediately destroy their immune system and poison them, or just start cutting on them? Your body can kill cancer cells just fine if you give it a chance. The problem is you don't give it a chance. Well, your typical person doesn't. You're constantly eating, and your body needs a break from that. And then in the fasting state, now you should get your body adjusted. It takes time to kind of get it adjusted to going into a fasting mode efficiently. So you need to work on that kind of fitness beforehand. But when you're in a fasted state, your body is now like, okay, we need to look at what do we got on board to live on right now. Well, we got these fat cells over here, and oh, looky here, we got a bunch of defective cells that really shouldn't be here anyway. Let's get them and break them down and eat them. And that's kind of simplified what happens. Your body is lazy about going after them most of the time because it's not going after that kind of stuff aggressively because it just never needs it. You're constantly shoving food down your gullet. So it doesn't really need to worry about trying to look at what it's got on board to live on. If you fast long enough, so I can't say too much. YouTube will freaking ban the damn video if I give medical advice. But just look into it yourself. You know, fasting is what I will do if I get cancer. That's the first thing I do, and then I'll start dosing really high on vitamin C as well. And again, you'll have to look into that yourself as to why. And psychedelic. Yeah. Yeah, you're talking. Yeah. That's always tip, especially if they remember you. Yeah. Dark chocolate, anything? Are hops and barley good for you? Because I get lots of them in can. Well, no. Unfortunately, they're not. Actually, that's a subject brought up in the keto world all the time, because a lot of those people are trying to stay in what they call a ketogenic state, and alcohol throws you right out of that. You know, even though it just does. It throws you out of the ketogenic state. Yeah, sweet corn is poison. Yeah, but how much do you like vegetables? I mean, because you think about like anytime I ate broccoli, what I really wanted was very well cooked broccoli smothered in cheese and butter and all that stuff. Cheese and butter being animal fats and proteins, right? To make it taste good. Yeah, occasionally I'd eat some dipped in some ranch, but do you really like that? All right, do I want to eat this broccoli? This raw ass shit, which is full of poison. Broccoli is poison. Look into the sulforaphane in broccoli. But and then of course fiber is not good for you either. I know. Just look at that one study, for example. It's just but yeah, or would you rather snack on broccoli or bacon? Think about that. Or some nice cheese. It's just, I think we've been brainwashed to think we like vegetables, or we've just been told this is good for you, and then people get health conscious and they're like, they kind of brainwash themselves to like vegetables more than they really should. I mean, I still eat some here and there, but I don't go out of my way like I used to. some nice broiled asparagus. Put some butter on it and salt it and broil it really good so it gets a little crispy on the end. Oh yeah, but I'd rather have bacon or some steak fat. Some steak fat's awesome. Yeah, it's probably not. It's not near as bad as like drinking pop. I don't think it's near as bad as drinking sugar soda of some kind. Of course, it depends on how much you're taking in. If you're drinking a lot, well, you're poison. Yeah, it's poison. I mean, we all know it's poison. The alcohol is bad juju. Hey, you do what you want. You've been in the house and bar there. He might have. He probably has. Mr. Lee probably has too. Yeah. Being a vegan is unhealthy. They have been committed. It's another one of those things where it's a brainwashing thing. It's a whole cult. It really is. It's a whole cult. Every single point that a vegan can make can be completely refuted, but they won't listen. And you watch a lot of these vegans. So many of them, they get scrawny and they look sickly. And then every so often in the news, a vegan family will be in the news because they killed their baby with a vegan diet. They kill their babies. Vegans kill their babies. Saying it right now. Vegans do this. It happens pretty regular. You'll see it in the news. A vegan couple will force their baby to live on a vegan diet, and it kills the baby. Animals. Look, if you want to eat like my prey, maybe I should eat you. That's all I'm saying. Vegans, you eat like my prey. If the shit hits the fan, I might get a little confused if I'm hunting for deer. Let's see, deer, vegan. Oops. Well, he was eating grass. Thought he was a deer. So that's wrong with Popeye? Yeah. Well, what the hell is up with the forearm thing? I don't understand that. What the is he? Is that what happened? Is that what sailors look like? I'd like to give Pillsbury Doughboy a swift kick in his cookie roll right now. Right about now. Yeah, Pillsbury Doughboy. Go get my share. Turtle on go. Damn, is Lockbeard sharpening a knife? No, I'm not sharpening a knife. Lockbeard, what is your typical daily dietary intake? Do you practice keto? It's been all over the place lately, Mr. Lee. But if I get my shit in order, what'll typically happen, like if I go to like a restaurant, like I'll eat just dinner, right? That's what my goal is to only eat dinner. I don't want to take time out of my day to eat breakfast and lunch, and I want that fasting period every day to help keep me healthy, keep my mind sharp, keep my energy up. Because you eat all day, you get sluggish periods, and your blood sugar does funny shit, and especially if you already got some borderline diabetes like me, which I think I do. I haven't been diagnosed with it, but I know my blood sugar does crazy shit. If I eat a big meal of carbs, it goes like this, and then it bottoms out, and I end up down. The lowest reading I've had that I've measured is 53, which is bad. Way too fucking low. And like I know I've been in a state in that situation where Lockbeard has checked the hell out. He's gone. He's walking around maybe, but he should not be operating power tools. Let's just say. And because blood sugar's too low, your mind's not functioning when your blood sugar's that low. But when I'm eating a 0 carb diet, people say, "Well, you need the sugar." No, you don't need. I don't need the sugar. What I need is no sugar, no carbs whatsoever, and my blood sugar stays nice and level, right where it's supposed to be. Your body makes exactly what you need if you just feed your body what it's supposed to have. You know, it's just supposed to have meat, and if you eat only meat, blood sugar stays fine. Yeah, there's gluconeogenesis is a process in your body where your body creates glucose and it creates exactly what you freaking need. You do not need to eat carbs. Period. You do not need to eat carbs. So yeah, I did. I mean, back in the day, I did keto a lot, and if I see something on the menu, if I really want to eat some asparagus or something, I might. But ideally, what I want to try and stick to is a strictly animal-based diet. So I will roll up into a steak restaurant and, maybe get a 12 or even a 16-ounce ribeye, nearly raw, just a very quick. I usually tell them no more than 5 seconds on each side, and because you want your meat as raw as possible, as raw as you can stomach eating or what you're used to eating. If you can't eat it that raw, blue is what you would order it as, to be more raw than rare. If you can't eat that, then eat it rare, eat it even medium rare. But you don't want to, because cooking destroys some of the vitamins, like vitamin C is destroyed by cooking. That's why people have problems getting enough vitamin C from an all meat diet if they eat all their meat fully cooked. It's because humans aren't supposed to eat cooked meat, damn it. They're not supposed to eat cooked meat. Do you think we evolved to eat cooked meat? No, we did not. And if there's sides that come with it, like, usually most restaurants you can get some cottage cheese, which is still animal fats and proteins. So it's, it's a gray area, but it'll work. Some sauteed mushrooms, maybe. There's a couple restaurants where I can get that in place of a side instead of a baked potato or something like that. Get sauteed mushrooms or cottage cheese or something along those lines, and you're good. Mushrooms is generally considered okay for a carnivore diet because fungi are more closely related to animals than plants. That's hard for a lot of people to wrap their mind around, but they're just going to have to get it through their head. Fungi are not plants. Mushrooms are not plants. It's a completely different kingdom of animals, and it's more closely related to animals than plants. So, that's kind of what it looks like. Roughly a pound of food a day is all I really seem to need. And I'm not hungry other than that throughout the day. So, and I haven't shrunk up like a vegan, that's for sure, eating like that. In fact, the highest muscle mass I've had in my life, I had while I was eating carnivore. Except like on occasion, I would go ahead and eat some carbs. Like if you're really carb depleted and then you eat some like one night, like there's one guy, he advocates like a carb. He calls it carb night or whatever, where you don't eat carbs most of the time and then you'll eat them and then your muscles suck up all that glycogen and you'll sometimes almost visibly get bigger. And then, work out on that and you'll get a pretty good jolt of energy doing that. Because you're not used to having those carbs all the time. So when you do eat them, it's like, woo, you get kind of buzzed up a little bit. He's polishing his microphone. What? Heard that too. What did you hear? Coffee enemas. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I've had alcohol this evening. I haven't had for 3 weeks haven't for 3 weeks to get back on keto. I should fast for 72 hours. It might be beneficial to do so. Yeah. Steak. Yeah. Later's LOCKBEARD. Later's all live live in 50 minutes. Computer's overheating in a bit. All right. Good night, Hive Bliss. Been drinking since I was 13. Yeah, you might have a hard time if you ever decide you want to put it down. You might have a hard time with it. Hive Bliss, see you, man. No, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, is there something in particular I should be thinking about? I mean, you know, I haven't been able to watch near as much stuff. I mean, obviously, I haven't been able to do as many lives myself and keep track of stuff as well. So, I don't know. Still got all the usual suspects out there doing their thing. I don't know what to say, Mr. Lee. Hey, VPXM. Yeah. Job made me have to get rid of my beard. So, everybody's just going to have to imagine it's there in spirit. Hopefully one day I will be able to regrow it. I actually still have it because later on it can be reattached as all locks. I just had the one dreadlock right here, but it can all be reattached as locks in the future. So I will be holding on to it. And then at that point I will be able to achieve one of the types of sanctification in the order of the ether is locks in your beard. It's one of the types of sanctification that only men can achieve because only men have beards, typically. Which was all probably Greek to you, but don't worry about it. If the order of the ether ever takes off and becomes like the other religions, I'm going to feel guilty for starting this shit. Dream about cheesecake most nights. Oh, shoot. Shortbread biscuits. Has anyone seen the doc on what Coke is doing in Mexico? No. What's Coke doing in Mexico? I dream about making coffee in the morning. The cola, that is. Made by sexy girls in bikinis. Well, you know, if you're gonna... Somebody's got to make it, right? Mr. Lee, I eat everything like most guys, but I need meat at least a couple times a week. Otherwise, I feel hungry. Icon says to Michael, is it making them fat like Spam to Hawaiians? Ribeyes and baked taters. Oh, shit. Everybody's going to be running out to get some food now, or they're going to head to the kitchen. They say they dropping like flies. What I don't understand. People are dying in Mexico because of Coca-Cola. When Coca-Cola with the real sugar from Mexico at work, people go ape shit. Why do they go ape shit? Is the sugar give them more energy or something? Yeah, what it is causing it, Michael. But the water is so bad they replaced it with Coke. So you're saying people are just drinking so much Coke that there's just like diabetes issues? Yeah, that's it, isn't it? I thought you were talking about maybe some kind of pollution, or that they are polluting their bodies if they're drinking that shit. That is definitely so. And they need to do something. See you later, Squatching Cowboy. Hopefully, some of these people that haven't seen your channel yet will be heading over there. Icons. Have a good one, Squatching Cowboy. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of these fluorescent hairs. Until I have the opportunity to collect some myself and I know they're Sasquatch hairs, there's not really much I can do personally to investigate that. I just have to trust that these hairs are legitimately Sasquatch that others have collected. I don't want. I'd rather know myself for certain. Hopefully, we find one day a way to consistently, repeatedly collect Sasquatch hairs somehow, and have a collection device of some kind, and be able to film it and film a Sasquatch actually coming into contact with that device. Like, we need to be able to prove that the hairs actually came from Sasquatch, and then we can talk about why they have these pink fluorescent hairs, if in fact they do. There's just so much we don't know. Jen says, Lockbeard, I don't know. We carry regular Coke, but when we get the real sugar from Mexico version, it sells out fast. Haven't tried it, so don't know if there's a difference. Yeah, well, a lot of people don't want that damn high fructose corn syrup. So if they see the real stuff, they'll buy it. Probably shouldn't drink soda ever, but I don't drink any anymore. I haven't, I think, in years now. I haven't had any soda of any kind. Unless you count the energy drinks, it's a kind of soda. But those are I always drink those as sugar-free versions when I do, or when I did. But when I was young, there were times where I was going and getting a 2-liter bottle and drinking the whole damn thing that night. Like, I was guzzling that shit. It was out of control. Icon says, yeah, the taste of Coke from Mexico takes me back about 40 years. Good stuff. Brown sugar, what's real sugar? Sorry, need more coffee. Yeah, well, you don't need anything but the sugar, really. I mean, the sugar is not good for people. It's poisonous. It eventually will kill you. Yeah, baked scallops is probably my favorite seafood. It's like a little seafood filet mignon. Awesome stuff. Yeah, scallops are awesome. Bacon wrapped scallops, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, we've diverged off of Bigfoot quite a bit tonight. But, there wasn't really much we could do, was there? It's just an interesting new dimension to the whole thing. It's been brought up by others on some of these shows out there, Squatch Talk and Mogs. And I just thought we'd talk about it a little bit, see if anybody had any other ideas about why it would be like that. Why would they fluorescent pink? Is it, is it evidence that they are highly nocturnal? I mean, I think we pretty much know that at this point, that they've become very nocturnal, but sure, it looks like I don't know, but it don't look like Central Florida Bigfoot is on. He should be on at 8, but it don't look like he's on. I see Hiveless has started live over there. VPXM says, all I know is brown sugar is original. White sugar is, cleaned up. Then you have pure, like sucralose. Yeah. Lockbeard, we had a good time tonight, says Sandra. Thank you, Sandra. I'm glad you did. Michael says, I kiss a hog in the mouth just to be close to bacon. Damn, dude. My brother was just mentioning to me a while ago, there's a channel out there called The Bearded Butchers. It's totally not Sasquatch related, but it's meat related. And meat is an important subject to me. Anyway, it was mentioned there was an episode of The Bearded Butchers where they were making beef bacon and comparing it to pork bacon. Because you don't normally see beef bacon. I've never had beef bacon, but it's a thing. They were saying, it tastes like bacon, only better. It seems like it would only be better. I know that when I'm eating strictly carnivore, I find chicken and pork to be to be less appetizing. Like my palate knows it's inferior meat. Like it's not something we're supposed to. It's not an ideal meat for humans to eat. I can tell that. I don't really want it. I want steak or something off a damn cow, or maybe deer or something like that. But chicken and pork are just inferior meats. They just don't. Well, so I definitely want to try some of this beef bacon. That'd be cool. I It's not something you ever see at the store, though. So I need to figure out how to get some. Jen says, if you look at our own natural hair is sunlight, we have all kinds of colors in it. Yeah. Yeah, we do. So Bigfoot's fur or hair should fluoresce under black light. Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying that the samples that they think are Bigfoot hair samples, when they put those under a black light, they show up pink. So I guess the question is does Sasquatch see those colors? And does that mean that when they look into the woods, they see things that fluoresce pink like their own kind? Apparently, some of these guys are trying to get their hands on some flying squirrels because that has been confirmed by science. There's the three species of flying squirrels in America. Apparently, all fluoresce pink. Their fur does. It all fluoresces pink. They're nocturnal, and there's other nocturnal animals that fluoresce pink as well. So it's interesting. They're wondering what if those samples are truly Bigfoot hair samples and they fluoresce pink like other nocturnal animals, does that indicate that Sasquatch is nocturnal? But yeah, I guess they just discovered by chance that flying squirrels fluoresce pink back in just a couple of years ago, 2019, I think it was. There was some research in Wisconsin, Northern College in Wisconsin, where they confirmed that all the three species that we have here. I don't know about other species, but because there's others in the world, but the three species we have here fluoresce pink. But the question is why? Why do they fluoresce pink? And if Bigfoot's fluorescing pink too, if those are truly Bigfoot hair samples, do they fluoresce pink for the same reason that the flying squirrels fluoresce pink? Does it have something to do with being nocturnal? That maybe nocturnal animals in general perceive these other frequencies and they see some shit that we don't normally see, some colors to things we don't normally see. So because we don't see in those frequency ranges of light, we can't see Bigfoot, right? Standing in the night, he blends in pretty well during the day, right? But if we could see what they see, we would see this big, obvious pink thing out there. It would stand out like a sore thumb. Michael Edwards says the bearded bushes are awesome. Yeah. Anyone that's got to wear chainmail to work, right, has got to be kind of badass and has a proper beard. Fish. Yeah, fish. Mark Dodman says, got to check out. Catch you next time. Keep well, everyone. You too, Mark Dodman. Thanks for coming. Yeah, take care. Icon says, that is interesting. It may make it easier to find Bigfoot with a massive black light array. Yeah, but if they see it, then they're just going to run away, right? But who knows? I mean, could one, because, let me try to say this. If they fluoresce under a certain over this range of frequencies, right? And maybe Bigfoot only sees, these ones over here, right? And he doesn't see these. Now, if we could figure that out, we could use these frequencies over here to make them fluoresce and show up on our camera. But Bigfoot would not be aware of that because he sees these frequencies over here that also fluoresce their hair, but they don't see these other frequencies over here. Yeah, that's just speculation, but we got to figure out, so basically we got to go out and use these little pieces and see what happens. It's gonna take a lot of just trial and error and just trying to figure out what can we come at Bigfoot with that they cannot spot, because they're spotting these infrared cameras and shit like that. So yeah, possums, some other animals as well. That's also there's a lot of flying squirrels up north here in Wisconsin. I'll have to find one and try it out. Yeah, I never thought to put a fluorescent light on the flying squirrels that I've encountered in the past, but what choice would you make, sea, land, or air? What do you mean? There's something enticing about just getting a ship and going to sea. There's something enticing about that. To be free, because all land is just like totally controlled. There's vast areas of ocean out there that one could experience some damn freedom. If I was a multi-billionaire, I would certainly build a floating island somewhere in international water so no one can tell me what the fuck to do. And maybe some other people could come out there and we could build our own place out there, own island, own little nation. But as far as air goes, I like to keep my feet on the ground until we get some adequate anti-gravity technology that a person can survive falling, or maybe even float. That'll come maybe one of these days, but who knows? I don't know, sea or land, but you just can't be free on land anymore. They're just taking your liberty left and right. BPXM says the icon, interesting idea. That might need light that can switch different frequencies. Yep, that's what I was saying. A black light picks up crap on other surfaces, but not much else. Yeah. You're welcome, Michael. Thanks for dropping by. You taking off too? We're probably going to wrap her up here pretty quick. We've gone over 2 hours for sure, and we haven't really stayed on Bigfoot too much. But we circled it back around. I don't know what we expect to find out, to know yet. It's just maybe some people have gotten some more ideas and maybe some stuff they can try. Maybe a black light can be used to, I don't know. Can you spot hares well enough with a handheld black light in the woods? If so, you might be able to find some hairs from one of the animals or from a Sasquatch with a black light that you normally would not have seen otherwise. Yeah, it makes a natural ghillie suit. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna check and see one more time. I don't know what Central Florida Bigfoot's doing tonight, but it doesn't appear that he is live, which he should have started almost an hour ago. Now, modern day debates. What are they debating tonight? And then I'm gonna try to stop this before it comes on. I'm trying to see what they're doing. Oh, modern day debate channel's going. They've been going a little while, it looks like. But did dinosaurs live with man? Oh shit! No. That is another one of those ridiculously stupid theories that they come up with, and they want to believe it so badly that when they see something that they can try, see, look, this has got to be no. Everything they claim is just Jesus. And then it looks like UFO Paranormal Radio Live. That's their 24/7 broadcast they do over there. That's what's going on over there. They sometimes have like specific shows that come on, but they pretty much run all the time with something kind of just a 24-hour kind of broadcast going on over there. So, but I don't see Central Florida Bigfoot on, so I guess he didn't come on tonight. BPXM says the icon, no way Bigfoot is simultaneously intelligent alien, acts like a city hobo in the middle of forest. With a creature as big and carpeted as Bigfoot, it should be easy to find Bigfoot with a black light. Yeah, but, they're going to see you coming with the black light, and they could certainly outrun you and get away. I mean, if they are hiding behind a hill, you're probably not going to see them looking at you from a distance. So I don't think it's going to work to straight up find them unless you're wandering around and maybe you think that they're sneaking up on you to kind of watch you, and you turn on the light real quick on them, and then you might see them, and then they might run off. But I don't know if it's going to be good for actually getting. You might get a sighting, but I don't know. But for finding hair samples, it might possibly be useful if you know you got one frequenting an area. Maybe you've been leaving some meat out there for them, and they've been taking it. So, maybe you've set up like a branch and you have a rope on there and a pulley or a come along or something, and you can kind of crank that branch down to bend it down far enough to hang some meat on it, and then let it back up. And so you leave that rope hanging. This is just an idea I had that maybe you can do. So nothing can get to that meat. It's too high. The bear can't get to it. It's too high. And that bear's probably not going to figure out that branch coming that far away from it. He's not going to figure out that he can climb the tree and go over on the branch and then pull the rope up. He might, but I'm going to think that bear is going to hang out below that meat. It's trying to figure out a way to get to it. And the bottom of the rope would need to be high enough that the bear can't even stand up and grab it with his mouth. But one thing could do that. And one thing could grab that rope, and that's a Sasquatch, and pull that meat down. So if you got maybe some Velcro on the rope or something else going on to make hair stick to the rope, you might get you some Sasquatch hair and maybe some skin cells, maybe some sebum. They bring up sebum a lot. It's a possibility. He used to have it every Saturday. What did he stop, or he used to have it every Saturday at 8. Mr. Lee says, when are you gonna dread your hair up? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I secured a girl to do that for me. It's just as soon as I call her and I get a chance, I got to go to Arkansas to do that on a weekend. So it could be in a few weeks, maybe. Could be a few weeks out, maybe more. I don't know for sure, though. I don't know for sure. Hang up a blacklight poster in the woods with a blacklight on it may catch their interest, and if they get close enough, bingo. Bait the suspected areas with Jack Links. Icon says that'll get him. Yeah, who can resist Jack Links? I definitely think that some nice meat will always get you some Sasquatch interest. And maybe some fruit. Try to keep things natural, though. Like, don't give them candy bars and shit. It's just getting that camera footage, getting physical evidence. How do we we can look at suspected Sasquatch hair under a black light all night long, but that's really okay. That's interesting, and we can speculate as to what it means, but until we can actually repeatedly, consistently observe them without them knowing and without disturbing them and study them properly, we don't know what the hell. We don't know. So I guess it's, what do you want to accomplish? Do you just want to feed Bigfoot and look at hair and greasy spots left by them touching stuff, or do you want to learn what they really are? You stopped, huh? Well, that sucks. That's kind of the reason why I was not going to run over 8 o'clock. Which have definitely done that tonight. But didn't want to step on his toes. Jen says, Icon, they are supposed to be very curious. Something glowing in the dark like that might get them to go look. Yeah, it definitely would. They might be suspicious of it too. So they might not get too close. Maybe at least until they get comfortable with it. Icon says, oh, that's how I can get me a lady squatch. Wear a beef jerky necklace. Dude, I don't know if I'd recommend that. She might just think that's the garnish. I'm just saying. I have a feeling, that a lady Sasquatch is not going to perceive a normal human male as attractive. You know what I mean? We don't have enough hair on us. We're not big. We're not as big as they are. We're going to look wholly inadequate compared to a normal male Sasquatch to a female. So I think that she will eat you long before she thinks, well, maybe I should screw this guy. Just saying. If you go out there wearing some meat around your neck, you're just asking for it at that point, I think. So just be careful. I don't know, Mr. Lee. I don't without really like why, like we speculated why they keep it a secret, but it's really weird. Why keep this a secret? There's got to be something like really earth shattering about Sasquatch, unless it's just purely economic interest. Or maybe they don't want to be exposed, because once the existence of Sasquatch is exposed, then we're probably going to see the government exposed for committing atrocious acts of human rights violations against the Sasquatch people. Because once we can prove, once we have physical evidence that Sasquatch exists, we have a body. Scientists are going to be able to confirm that they are, in fact, I guarantee you, they're human, or so close to human that they would definitely be considered a people. But I think they're the same species as us, just a big hairy race, but a big hairy race of humans. And the fallout that would result from the people finding out that the government has, as some have claimed, been murdering these people and not giving them the full rights of a normal human being. I think that might be one of the reasons why the government wants it to remain secret. They'll probably keep it secret as long as they can, perhaps with the intention of eventually fully eradicating them, so that they can just continue to say, "Oh, it was just an old legend. You can't find them now, no matter what you do." So, I don't know. If they haven't disclosed them for a reason. But we just don't know. If we just knew what exactly that reason was, or maybe it could be all these reasons. I don't know. Icon says that's what makes me think it would be too difficult to set up and leave a bunch of black lights set up in the woods. Might pay off. Well, I think the black lights, it'd be similar, just like with the cameras. Like, people have a hard time getting anything on a game camera, and it seems that they may be able to detect game cameras. So if we leave black lights out, they're probably going to be able to detect those as well. Like, some people think they detect the magnetic field or the IR or whatever it is about it, these things that they are detecting. So I don't know how you would set it up. Like if you're thinking something along the lines like you have some black lights and cameras that are all completely shut off until something sets off a trip line or gets detected by their movement, and then the black lights flash on and the cameras start filming. I don't think it'll work. I think they will know something's up. Some people think they just smell the electronics, but I don't know. I don't think they'll be able to do anything along those lines with it. You might be able to look at some suspected Sasquatch hair or say, "Oh, look, it's pink. What does this mean?" And that's probably going to be all we're going to... We aren't going to really know why it's pink or if it's significant at all. It's probably not going to help us catch one. It might help us find a body. Maybe. Icon says, I'm not a normal human male, brother, and at 6'2", I'd be a slightly hairless Bigfoot. Yeah, but a Bigfoot without hair is probably sick, right? It's probably genetically inferior. 6'2", kind of tall, but it's not. I got a buddy. He's 6'8" and 450 pounds, and that's pretty. That's a big old boy. You feel almost like you're in the presence of a giant with next to him. So you think about back stories about giants. People were like trying to make it this mystical, magical, David and Goliath and all the giants used to be in the land. I'm like, yeah, well, it's probably just a tall dude like him, or Andre the Giant, or a bunch of other people that are really tall, over 6 foot. I think we got a couple people over 7 foot. Bigger than your average person, sure, but giants in the terms of the magical idea. You hear the stories like the Native American stories about there's these big people. Well, yeah, if your people are typically 5'3", and you run across these light skinned, because they describe some of like these tall, white, bearded people that existed here before they did. It was just European people. That's all it was. Like that were here before the Indians were. Oh shit! I'm not supposed to say that, am I? Well, I'm sorry, government and tribal government. Stop fucking lying. There's a mountain of evidence of this fact that there were Caucasian people here for tens of thousands of fucking years before the Indians were even a thing. I'm sorry, that's the goddamn fact. Anyone that takes the time can go confirm this shit for themselves. Take your Kennewick Man case bullshit and shove it up your ass. I'm sorry if the facts are inconvenient for whatever freaking narrative you want to push, but I'm sorry. The Indians were not the first people here, or Native Americans, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I'm a tribal member. I don't give a fuck if that's the true past. I do not give a fuck. What matters to me is the fucking truth. And the truth is these ancient stories of these, like the Paiute tribe story about these tall red-headed people that they didn't like and they killed them all. The Paiutes have a story about them committing a genocide against these people. That was just a Caucasian tribe of people that were some of the remnants of the ones, because most of them got wiped out during the Younger Dryas impact about 13,000 years ago. There was a vast civilization. This Earth, it was not freaking. It's not what people have been led to believe. They see this, the pyramids and all. Look, this is way too big a subject to address tonight. But anyway, there were some of those people. Some of those people survived the cataclysm. A lot of land was permanently flooded. Other areas that weren't permanently flooded, because the sea level rose 400 feet as a result of that astronomical impact. So Younger Dryas impact. Look into it. It's the source of the flood myth all around the world in all kinds of religions. It all comes from that. It was it affected the whole world. All shorelines were moved inland because the sea level rose 400 feet. And some areas where there was a huge, massive, cataclysmically, horribly destructive flood that occurred, because it impacted some areas where there was ice, and Look into Randall Carlson. He talks about all the evidence of this shit. The really cool stuff, to me, it's really cool, is where he shows where, because you gotta step back to see shit on a larger scale. Because you know how you see ripples after a flood in the sand or the mud, and they're like that tall. Well, he was showing how there were ripples multiple stories tall, made of gigantic boulders and shit. Like it was this on a massive scale. The flood that created that scoured the surface of that area. Like all life that was there, every human being, every animal, everything had to just been completely obliterated by a flood on this scale. We have evidence that this happened. The Kennewick Man case that I mentioned a while ago, that's a case where the Indian tribes tried to take possession of a 9,000 year plus old skeleton that was Caucasian. They'll try and say, well, it resembled more of the Ainu people of Japan. But if you look into them, they were Caucasian too. There was Caucasians in Japan originally. There was Caucasians in China originally. Look at the Tarim Basin mummies, for example. Those areas were not always Asian people. Sorry if it's an inconvenient fact, but there it is. And they, they weren't exactly like Caucasians today, but they were definitely Caucasian. The Kennewick Man case, they found this skeleton. It was they called it the Kennewick Man, and the tribes tried to take possession of it, claiming it was one of theirs, but it was clearly, the morphology of the skeleton was clearly not Indians. It wasn't Indian. And they lost the court battle in that case. And there's been other skeletons found. There's linguistic evidence, there's DNA evidence, there's artifacts. I mean, there's a mountain of evidence proving this, but they don't want people to know. And of course, the people that want so badly to believe that there were giants in the land and blah blah blah, they love these old stories because they think it confirms their belief. But the reality is you had peoples that were a little shorter who run into peoples who were a little taller, and they said, "Oh, these people are big," and over time, it's just been blown up in the minds of some people to mean, "Oh, there's these big giants," and they were... Settle down. Settle down. A secret for decades? Why? I don't know. It's truly a slightly hairless pygmy Bigfoot. Yeah. Jen says, Icon says, Jen, I'd have to try that up in the northwest Wisconsin. They're supposed to be abundant up there, according to the locals. Black light poster, butterflies, wildlife set up. Pop those lights on it and see what happens. Run to the litter icon, yeah, with mange. A little mangy Bigfoot. It'd have to be one of my little mushroom black light posters. Lots of pink in them. Cool, give it a go. Can't hurt. If I was a Sasquatch, I'd mess with humans big time. Yeah, but they don't. I don't know what you're referring to. The government plays along with the Indians' narrative so they don't dynamite Mount Rushmore. Yeah, probably. They don't like that whole situation. He's right. VPXM, yeah. Jen, Icon says, Jen, I just might have to head up to Rhinelander in about a month. Would be a great area to test that out. Brandy, you asleep? Sweet dreams. She's probably lurking. Icon. Jen says, Icon, well, we are in a lot of the same chats, so if you do, let me know how it goes. Yeah. Icon, definitely tell us if you do that. Tell us how it goes. Brandy says, I'm awake. Yeah. Icon says, Jen, I will do that. I'm going to try to vid the whole thing too. Well, good luck, Icon. And if you're going to try and film, like if you're going to, like you're thinking of putting a black light on a poster in the woods, like on a battery or something, I just don't think Bigfoot's going to come in too close, though. And they're going to see you put this there. They're going to see you put the camera up. And I'm pretty sure they know exactly what a damn camera is. And they know they need to stay away from cameras. So here's a thought. Now, I think it was Patrick Vaughn. He didn't confirm that a while ago. I'm pretty sure it was him that was talking about putting the camera in the earth somehow. So let's say you went out to some place and acted like you were camping. And you got a pretty big tent, and you kind of got it like next to a bank. So you like run your tarp or whatever up onto the bank and anchor it up there, so that you're kind of up against this bank and completely enclosed, and then find a way to hide a camera kind of in the soil up under some roots or something where they can't really tell that you did anything to that. And then go set your black light poster up on a battery or whatever you're going to do in the field of view of the camera, so they see you clearly put the black light up with the poster, right? They did not see you install the camera kind of up in a bank under some tree roots, hidden in, you don't want them to know you put that there. And then you break camp the next day or whatever. You take your tent down and you go, and then the Bigfoot maybe, hopefully, don't realize there's a camera there. They just think the area is disturbed because you were camped there, and that you left behind this poster with a black light shining on it for some damn reason, just being a crazy human or something. Humans leave stupid shit in the woods all the time. Why not this? It might work. I mean, you just want to make sure they don't know the camera's there. Well, give it a try. Thank you, Meredith. See you later. Thanks for coming by. Daily Dan's here, still here. Two other phone died. Oh shoot. Stream breaking up on my end here, so I'm going to say goodnight all here. Stay cool, Lockbeard. Thank you. You too, VPXM. I think he just reads emails, man. I think he's using the Bigfoot community. I don't know if he's... I don't know. Maybe he truly thinks the way he claims he thinks. Maybe he truly is pissed off about things, but I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know, man. I don't watch his channel no more. How in the blue hell would Sasquatch know what a camera is and what it is used for? Well, I think they are human, of course. So humans can figure shit out, and they watch us. They watch us closely. So whereas we're sitting here thinking, well, they don't know what the hell. But people are out there in the woods and they're pointing their cameras at each other, and that screen is visible to the Bigfoot. They know that thing somehow is producing images on the screen in that they got. So how much they truly understand like what it is, I mean, they just know, they know what they observe. And I'm just saying they observe this. So, but they may know more, because some people suggest that they have some level of psychic power. I don't know if that's true. I don't totally discount it, but and they certainly seem to have demonstrated enough intellect to to avoid the shit out of us, even with all our technology, even with our great numbers, and we've carved up most of the wilderness now. I mean, we've pretty much occupied almost everything except for a few, national forests and stuff and some mountains areas. But I mean, we've probed everything. They know that they need to avoid cameras, apparently. They know that they need to avoid them. So having like a true understanding of what it is, maybe not, but understanding it's something they must avoid. They definitely know that. So how much they truly understand what a camera is and does, I don't know, but I'm pretty certain some of them have been able to see, like, this human is pointing that thing at that human, and there's a little image of that human on that thing. I'm certain some of them have actually been able to make that observation. But do they understand truly what's going on? I don't know, but clearly they know they don't want to. They want to avoid cameras and our technology in general. So, but I think they may be intelligent enough to fully realize what they are. But we need more information before we can really say that, right? And then there's the whole possibility that the government has been secretly in contact with the Sasquatch people all along and have, under threat of death, told them to avoid these things and what these things are and why they want them to avoid them, and that, that they have if the Bigfoot didn't figure out what these things were by themselves, there's a possibility that the government explained to them what they were and why they need to avoid them, and that if they don't avoid them, they will be forced to come out there and execute their whole tribe to hide their secret, because they want to keep them secret. I don't put that past our criminal domestic terrorist government. They have been willing to murder people their entire existence, going back to the smallpox blankets they gave the Indians. That's what they do. They murder people. If they don't get their way, they'll kill you. Just to keep their power, just to keep their control, and to keep their secrets. Did I mention I don't trust our government? Well, even if they come in to take a look, throw things at it, it's still data. Yeah, sure, Jen. I mean, no reason not to try it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's going to be, I think they're going to be suspicious of it. Hi, Meredith. Have a good night. Cookie cereal. Oh, no. Brandy's doomed to snacks. She's doomed to the snacking. Icon says, I understand Bigfoot has good instincts, but they're not everywhere at all times. They ain't God, man. Are you sure? I don't know. Who knows? Jen says, Mr. Lee, I think once he gets his live show up and his handless, it's going to either really good or he's full of it. Are you talking about Ishtal? Yeah. Icon says, just had a humorous thought. If I get clear photos of a pink Bigfoot, I'm going to get raked up one side of the internet and down the other for it being bullshit. Yeah, there will be people that will just attack and say it's all bullshit. Oh, I mean, the reality is it won't necessarily be, ironclad evidence necessarily, but it, could theoretically be faked. But if that same Bigfoot ends up dead on a slab on camera, like, don't try to kill a Bigfoot. But let's say there was a trap of some kind. Some kind of explosive involved or something very illegal, and then that Bigfoot is then presented to the public, then no one, well, there'll still be some people that would deny it. It's all faked. It's all faked. Mr. Lee says, why we're being lied to, man? It ain't right. Is everything a fucking lie? Yeah. It's all a lie, man. Icon, most likely. Most. Probably. Icon says, cameras have been around for 180 years. I'd wager Bigfoot knows what the clicky thing is and not trust it. Yeah. I mean, theoretically, maybe when someone did a little Polaroid and they dropped the picture in the Bigfoot, it's like, okay, they pointed that thing at that thing and clicked it, and it spit out this picture, this little flat thing that shows that thing. Yeah, I don't think it'd be that hard for them to kind of figure out what a freaking camera is. Especially if they're human, like I think they are. Daly says, yeah, that Brian guy who killed that Gabby chick must be part Bigfoot. Nobody can find him either. I will grant you the psychic ability thing. That would explain a lot. Yeah. Yeah, but I haven't seen, I don't think we've, well, hell, how would you even prove psychic ability? We can't even prove the damn things. Like, we can't even put a body on the slab, let alone test a bunch of Bigfoot to see if they can tell you if there's wavy lines on a card, But can't totally discount it, though. It's a possibility. Yeah, ignore the haters. And he said they know cameras are not an environment. Therefore, they stay away. Some think they can hear some sort of noise coming from the tech. Yeah. Well, and that's been kind of a question I've had, about, okay, cameras. Let's say they can detect electrical fields. Then we can't use a camera that uses any kind of electrical. But how do you do that? You have a wind-up camera? Well, so it's still going to make noises, so that's not going to work. Unless you can make one that's just totally quiet somehow. I just don't know if you can do that. It's going to be okay, Mr. Lee. It's going to be okay. Yeah, getting tired. Time to wrap her up. Time is it? 9:30? I don't know if there's anywhere you guys would want to go for any more live tonight, but UFO Paranormal Radio, that 24-hour thing is just not. Yeah, you might drop in every so often and see what they're talking about, but it's not a live. It's not an actual live show. Typically, occasionally they have them, I think, but I haven't looked at them really. Let me refresh this damn thing here. Well, Dogman Cams is live, it looks like. I don't know how long he's been on. Probably 30 minutes. UFO Man is on. I don't know if you guys heard about him. He's on the TV Guide as well, though. And as you can imagine, he focuses mainly on UFOs. Then there's Paranormal Portal is on, who have banned me, by the way. So I'm not going over there. But so there's some options out there if any of y'all still want to watch some live somewhere. Modern day debate's not really paranormal oriented, but their subject tonight kind of plays to those people who like to think that young Earth is a real thing and dinosaurs and man live together. But the debate is probably over, and they're just doing questions now, I'm sure. But the debates are almost, a lot of times they're just shit shows over there. Because they just are. You too, Mr. Lee. Brandy says, I took a nap, but I did have cookies, so it's only a matter of time now. Icon says, Brandy, it's plausible. Another thing is, many animals see a camera lens as an unblinking eye and either shy away or freak out. Yeah, that's a possible explanation. Brandy says, disagree. Lots of speculation. We can't say for sure, no, but why is it so difficult to film one? UFO Man, I'll check him out. Oh, you never heard of him, Mr. Lee? Yeah. Yeah, he just talks UFOs. I don't know how one would guess that, but he talks UFOs. Jen says, I've heard a few channels talk about going back to low tech to film. Yeah. It might work. I don't know. It might work. Mr. Lee says, I've never watched or listened to Paranormal Portal. Yeah. Well, I won't recommend them myself, but because it's just stories typically. It's just stories, which is great if you want to listen to stories, I guess. But a lot of them could be straight up lies for all we know. Sandra says, good show. Had some good last night. Good night, everyone, and God bless. You too, Sandra. Thanks for coming. So, yeah. Icon says, have a good night, Sandra. So, yeah, let's wrap her up. So, Bigfoot's pink now. Good to know. Brandy says, take care, Sandra. Streaming Sandra, new nickname. So, yeah. Jeff talking on Moog Show, and the guys talking over on Squatch Talk have introduced us to the possibility that Sasquatch is pink. Sasquatch is pink. Good to know. So, all right, everyone. Thanks for dropping in, and see you next time.